Napoli fans around the world, welcome to Napoli Talk. This Napoli team has made history by getting into the quarterfinals of the Champions League for the first time ever. And I'm also very happy to say that it's 3 out of 3 Italian teams that made it into the stage. And I'm not necessarily happy for Inter Milan. I'm happy that Inter Milan are in the quarterfinals because I'm hoping to go against them in the quarterfinals because I think they're easy opponents. So let's not get confused about that. I couldn't care less about Inter and Milan in terms of them making it to the quarterfinals. I'm just glad two teams that are 18 plus points behind us in the same league are there, just in case we get them. But enough talking about other teams. Actually, we'll go and talk about Inter Milan a little bit in this live. But guys, Napoli beating Frankfurt, Eintracht Frankfurt 3-0, whilst not even in third gear. Guys, come on. I mean, when have we ever seen anything like that? When have we ever seen anything like that? A team that just walked today against Frankfurt, because let's face it, guys, we were not playing at our 100%, and as a result, also our player ratings that we'll see later on, they won't be super high apart from one or two individuals, because I mean, we didn't even have to do too much today. Let's see. First things first, let me give a big thank you to Pvito for the 5 Australian dollars. Thank you, Peter. Pvito, not Peter, says, I've got 3 hours of sleep and now I have to go to work, but I couldn't miss history. Forza Napoli sempre. That's a spirit, guys. That's a spirit from wherever you are in the world. And I know you guys are from all sorts of different places, but we all come together and watch this history unfold, because I truly believe this is the best team that Napoli has ever had. Obviously, it's we've had the likes of Diego play with us, but as a team, I think this one is a level above, honestly. Now, let's go and read some of your comments. And actually, before I do that, there's going to be, I think I can predict there's going to be some comments about the scenes that happened before the game today in Naples with the Eintracht fans that damaged the city. They were out of control. It's incredible to me how the police knew of these fans coming. They came to the city center escorted by the police. They know where they're staying in the hotel, this and that. How did the situation escalate like this? How is there no plan in place to keep these guys quiet, to stop the damage before it happened? It just doesn't make sense. And I'm not trying to put the blame on the authorities, because the blame needs to go to the criminals involved, to the thugs, the Eintracht ultras. But I mean, at the same time, you can't deny the fact that everybody predicted this. I mean, if I made a video, a YouTube short, guys, I never make YouTube shorts. If I made a YouTube short saying that this was a risky situation, these are the problems that could happen, I can't imagine that other people with power to do something about it didn't know about it. So yeah, it's a little bit worrying about that. But anyways, no one got hurt, luckily. Obviously a bit of damage around the city, or a lot of damage, but at least no one got hurt. And hopefully, because they know where these fans are, or these ultras are, maybe they can arrest a few of them. That would be nice. Anyways, let's go back to the football. All right. But actually, before we do that, there's 90 of you here right now. And then obviously a lot of you will listen tomorrow after the live, and I'm not seeing enough likes. It's as if you guys are not happy that Napoli made history. So, what's up with that, guys? I know you like to enjoy this on the full screen and everything, but just minimize that for a second, smash that like button, and let's continue. Because if we don't get to 100 likes, I'm not starting the analysis of the game. But for now, I'm going to read some of your comments. So, Kvara. Hafiz Yusuf says Kvara needs to pass to Osimhen more. Both of them can score goals in this match. Yeah, Kvara today maybe could have passed it once or twice to Osimhen and he went by himself. I don't think that's necessarily an issue between the two of them. They've assisted each other multiple times this season. I think just maybe Kvara missed the moment to pass the ball by a fraction of a second. The situation changed and then he had to go by himself, and we'll see that in the analysis later on. And thank you guys. Almost double of you have now smashed that like button, so keep it up while I read some of your comments before I go to the analysis. For anyone that's new, by the way, smash that subscribe button as well, and let me put a poll up for you guys so I can engage you a little bit while I read some of the comments. And let me ask you which team you would rather face next. All right, so I'm gonna actually break it down into just two options. I'm gonna say the big three, which is Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, and who's the other big team that's left? Having a little brain fart right now. Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, and Man City, obviously. Or the Italians, Inter and Milan. Or I'm going to go Benfica or Chelsea. All right, I'm going to put this poll up. You guys do your thing, vote, and then I'm gonna keep doing the questions I'm gonna keep doing the comments in the meantime. But also I want to thank Hafiz Yusuf for the $10 donation. And this guy, guys, you have to understand, Hafiz, my man, he is always the first comment. So that's how to be memorable. Be the very first comment on every live stream. I love this guy. Mike Ekstad, $5 donation. Thank you so much, Mike, for always doing this. You're the man. He says, Ared Bergamo was with Frankfurt. Where does this friendship come from? Anyways, I'm praying we don't draw Bayern, my other club. I think the friendship comes from the fact that, when like someone's stupid and then another guy is stupid, and these, sometimes they say opposites attract, but sometimes it's the opposite, like people that are very similar attract, and that's why I think Atalanta and Frankfurt Ultras are friends. Let me read some of your comments, guys, while we get to the poll results in a second. Adam Miller says you should go now. We can all finish the game while on the chat. You know what? I should probably do a watch along at some point. Would probably save me also a lot of time, but then I couldn't analyze the game. Anyways, Adam says, man of the match has to be Osimhen. 2 goals and he had the goal, put it away, and it wasn't an easy header. Plus, his control of the ball was excellent today. I do agree. Osimhen had an amazing game today. Jacksu agrees with him. Hafiz Yusuf says, I want Man City next, so I know what he's going to be voting for. He says, I believe Man City will be easy for us. That's a really good point, actually, because here's the thing. I think Man City, the way I see Man City this year is that they've got the potential for really high highs, which is, for example, what they did last night, where they won 7-0 and Haaland scored 5 goals. And then they've got the potential to also not be so special. And that's why they're not winning the league this season. That's why they're second. That's why they've drawn a few games, lost a few games, haven't really been convincing a lot of games. Some people even criticize the fact that maybe Haaland's not always involved in every single game. De Bruyne is not having the best time of his life either, apart from, yesterday he got back to his normal self. But they're not always consistently at the highest level. And so, that could be a good thing for us. While Real Madrid and Bayern maybe face each other in the other game. Maximus 1318 says, I would love for them to get City. Adam says, ideally Man City draws Bayern or Madrid. So you guys are, having mixed opinions about what's going on. I personally would love to go against one of the Italian teams if that was me. Lewis says, I took sick day at work to stay home and watch. I have 5 sick days anyways and 23 vacation days per year. Anyway, so I think you used one of them very, very wisely. And Pavito says he's in Australia. Maximus says 3 out of the top teams left are Serie A. Not bad for the Farmers League. Lou says, I'm surprised Serie A this year, although Inter Milan barely advanced by goal. Yeah. All right. So let's talk a little bit about Inter and Milan before we go on to the analysis of Napoli, whilst you guys keep voting in the poll and you keep smashing this like button, because guys, I'm not going to go to the analysis or player ratings until we get at least 100 likes. You guys know the rules. So Inter, guys, yesterday against Porto was one of the most boring games of football I have ever seen in my life. It is a disgrace that either team would make it to the next stage. And I'm sorry if some Inter fans are watching. I'm sorry, Uncle Sharma, if you're watching. But how is it possible that we've had to struggle for so many years to get to this point in the competition and Inter goes through playing like that? Barely scraping by. In the last 5 minutes, by the way, for 88 minutes, you could just watch a screenshot of the game for 88 minutes and nothing would change compared to something that was happening live, right? And then in the last 5 minutes, a few things happened where Inter suffered all sorts of things. They had to clear the ball off the line. Porto hit the post, this, that, and the other. Somehow they got away with it. Milan as well. Milan played a group of players that basically refused to play football. You know, I think the way Tottenham played against Milan was disgraceful. At home, you're only 1-0 down. For the first 70 minutes, Tottenham didn't put any sort of pressure on Milan, and then with 20 minutes to go, they were even worse. So, no idea, you know, how they got so lucky to face those kind of teams and how they advanced. But anyways, I don't think so. Whilst it's great for the Serie A that we have 3 out of 3 teams, I don't think it reflects at all the level of our league compared to others, because honestly, guys, like, Tottenham doesn't represent a top 4 team in England, in my opinion. I mean, I know that they're like around 4th and 5th, so maybe they do, but still, guys, like, Tottenham plays super bad. You know, if it was an Arsenal in there, for example, or Man United in there, then I don't think that Milan would have gone through, personally. So let's maybe not draw too many conclusions. Maximus 1318 says, unfortunately for Napoli, Osimhen won't be there next season. He's quoting someone, which, you know, we never know that. We never know, because imagine you win the Serie A, you go far in the Champions League, you have this great chemistry with the team, with the fans, with the coach. If a new, better contract comes your way from within Napoli, why wouldn't you take it? Why wouldn't you? So, you know, I don't think players are dying to leave at all. Soul Flow says, did Kim play good? Yeah, he was great. I didn't expect Kim to play at all today because he came off injured against Atalanta, and I didn't expect him to play this good either, and to, you know, really push himself physically like he did today, because a lot of the times he was doing that. And there's an example in the analysis, but we got more than 100 likes, so we can go on to the analysis later on. Byron says Zielinski should give Osi the pen, but we move Forza Napoli. You know, I feel like that could have been nice to have Osimhen score a hat-trick. I also feel like Zielinski deserved the goal because he hasn't had one in a while, and I think he was, you know, he's the one that got the penalty. He played really well today, so yeah. And I don't think Napoli has ever really done those kind of things where we just try to push one person's stats more than the other. And I think maybe even Osimhen kind of enjoys the fact that he can say to people, hey, I've scored 25 goals this year, 30 goals, 35 goals, and none of them were from a penalty, right? Because then if you start saying, you know, I've scored 40, but by the way, one was a penalty, then it's you know, you got a little asterisk on the 40. Whereas now you can just say, yeah, I never scored on the penalty, unless I'm forgetting one of them. Gideon Tunde says, Capitan Osimhen here, enjoy the flight. Guys, how long did Osimhen stay in the air for that goal? Honestly, he really took off. I just watched Victor interview Zielinski, asked him, but he said Zielinski should play it, says Felix. Arsenal Daily Update says, what a header. I totally agree, man. Lamba TV says, Nigeria to the world. Come on, Osimhen, and hopefully Napoli can go all the way. Guys, Osimhen was unreal today. I'm glad all the Nigerian guys have enjoyed that. Great to see Mairui play again, says Polderi. I know he told me in one of the comments how to pronounce his name, and I forgot. I'll look back into that. TT says, what a performance by Politano today. Him and Lozano really putting in man in the match performances lately. Guys, Politano and Lozano, it's crazy. Sometimes they both played really bad. Then other times they both played really good. And, Lozano must be scratching his head, asking himself how he's getting benched after the recent performances that he had. And then, you play Politano, and he also has great performance. Maybe second or third best on the field today, to be honest. Boomer says Serie A is better than Bundesliga. I agree. Nicholas says, obviously, I want to see this Napoli side prove themselves against the top sides, even just to shut the critics up. However, there's nothing wrong with wanting an easier run. I vote Benfica or Chelsea. Right, so that's what the majority of you have been voting, that you guys want Benfica and Chelsea, 53%. Then afterwards, it's a bit of a tie with around a fourth of you each wanting either one of the big three, Real Madrid, Bayern, City, or the other Italians. I personally, I don't know. It would be super nice, actually, if the two of the big three face each other, obviously, like a Real Madrid, Man City would be great, for example. I can see Inter and Chelsea causing Bayern problems, to be honest. And then maybe we get one of Milan or Benfica, which I think are the two worst teams there. But let's see. Well, actually, Benfica, I take that back. Benfica are a good team. They are a good team. I guess at this stage they all are. Anyways, Anthony G says, think that Lozano didn't start because he was a bit hurt earlier this week. That's also true. Puerto Rican. Puerto Rican. Okay, I got it. I got your pronunciation now. Anyways, guys, a lot of comments, a lot of likes, not as many as viewers, which is always upsetting on a very personal level, because it means around 60 of you hate me, which is, it's okay, it happens. But let me go on to the analysis of the game, guys, because let's go there. Right, before we do that though, for anyone that missed it, if you live under a rock, there were huge ugly scenes before the game, a few hours before the game, where the Frankfurt Ultras went and destroyed the city center, and they burned cars and all that. And I have to say, we talked about how I don't think the local authorities maybe did enough to block this from happening. But I have to say, I'm very glad the Napoli Ultras didn't respond. I mean, okay, they threw maybe like one or two bottles at the bus or this or that, but they didn't go and physically fight the Frankfurt Ultras, and I'm super thankful about that, because we have no risk of UEFA banning us. And okay, apart from that, there's also the question of violence is never the answer, but also we won't get banned from next games, and I'm very, very, very glad about that. Because, if we had responded, then we might have been banned. And I'm sure Frankfurt fans are going to be banned. They must get banned for this kind of stuff. Let me go back to the chat, because I've just received a little notification that Vincenzo Bertillo has donated $13.99. Una mattina mi son svegliato, oh bella ciao. Man, I actually had to sing that. I actually had to sing that at the Italian food event last Saturday, Bella Ciao, because we all started singing songs from our country, and then when it was the turn of Italy, we sang Volare and Bella Ciao, because everybody knows those songs. So but I'm not singing in front of you guys. But yeah, it's a very, very fitting song, that one, obviously. Rabona TV, man, I was worried about that. I was I was worried about that. But I rectified. My man. Don't hate me. Actually, I don't want Benfica. I don't, because they are the wild horse. There's two wild horses here, Benfica and Napoli. And Benfica, I mean, how can you say that they're bad when they steamrolled past Genk? At the same time, we all know Inter is our bogey team. I do not want to face Inter. Chelsea, maybe that could be a good game, get a bit of a revenge, but I just feel like they're super unpredictable, and they've got talent in there, the big three, obviously. So for me, the one I want is Milan, and I take back that Benfica is an easy one. I take that back, man, and I'm not just saying that. I actually take that back. Mike with the $2 donation says, can that car's owner sue the Frankfurt Ultras group? I mean, it's the police. That's the police car. Is this the first time ever Napoli are in the quarters of Champions League? Yeah, 100%. It's the first time. We had Maradona play for us, and twice we got knocked out with him in this round of the Champions League. Once it was against Real Madrid in a game that people that were watching it back then said it was a great game. And then once against Spartak Moscow, of all teams. But that was a time when Maradona and Napoli were already, not on good terms. Maradona had to fly to Moscow for that game on a separate plane because he missed the plane where most of the squad, all the rest of the squad went. And yeah, I mean, this was a time when Maradona was already acting a little different. Let's just put it that way. So let's go on to actually analyzing the game. And then obviously we had other more recent times when we got knocked at this stage, and we didn't go through, unluckily, against Chelsea, Real Madrid, all the future winners of the Champions League in those seasons. Anyways, let's go through the game. So I think we started off quite well. We had this moment here. It's not really a chance in the game, but I just found it interesting how Anguissa didn't spot the run of Osimhen, because Osimhen was through here, and instead he decided to take the ball wide and pass it down to Politano. I thought that was a little weird, so I just want to point that out. And as usual, Anguissa doesn't always start games super well. He takes time to really get into his best, and this was another example of early in the game making maybe not the best decision. I think if this was 60th minute, he would have done something different. In terms of Frankfurt, right? Let's go to them. So we saw how in the first leg they refused to press us. They had everybody in their half of the field in the first leg, and now we see a totally different Frankfurt in this leg. Really pushed Napoli, really pressed us. They've got 7 players in this frame, and only 3, covering Osimhen and Politano on the other side. This is a very, very aggressive mindset, and they did put us a little bit under pressure, but Napoli never really seemed like we were going to suffer from this at all. Always, with Lobotka, Anguissa, Zielinski in the middle, you can see Kvara coming in to help. We had it under control. Zielinski, by the way, played a great game. This is him recovering the ball in Frankfurt's half with the slide tackle, showing that he knows how to do the dirty work as well. The ball falls to Kvara, and Kvara, instead of passing it to Osimhen, who was, let's say, free, he's out of the frame here, he's on the left of the frame. Instead of passing it to Osimhen, maybe instead of also taking the shot earlier, he decides to drag himself wide and forces Trapp to make a save. And Trapp made some really good saves on Kvara. The next one was here. I feel like he could have done better. He skips past 1 or 2 players, and then he takes a shot right on Kevin Trapp, which he could have done better today, to be honest, with his finishing. And then we get to the goal. High recovery from Napoli, as always, right? Look at the position of our guys. We are super forward. Lobotka first time ball to Politano, and then look, Politano takes the ball right from that position, and the left back for Eintracht gave him so much room on his right hand side because he was expecting Politano to cut it on his left foot. But whoever gave this guy the scouting report on Politano must have stopped watching Politano back in 2022, because the Politano of 2023 is very different from the one of 2022. Politano of 2023 actually, if you add it up, if you count it up, goes more times on his weaker right foot than on his left foot. And he has been doing some really great crosses. We saw it in the game over the weekend against Atalanta. We see it here again. Great cross to Osimhen. Picks him out really well. He's got all the space and time in the world to do that. And Osimhen, man, this guy stayed in the air for so long. I had the time that the cross came in. I went and got a coffee. True story. The delivery guy that brought my burger knocked on the door. I literally had time to go to the door, pick up my burger, tip the guy, come back, sit down, get comfy. Osimhen was still in the air. And then he scored. True story. Really. But guys, Osimhen, I actually had a burger. It is a true story. Osimhen, guys, great leap as always, but also the way that he's so deliberate with his header. It just goes exactly where it needs to go. He loops it over Kevin Trapp in a beautiful, beautiful way. Let's go to some comments. All right, let's go to some comments. Matteo Casale says, "Sì ragazzi, enjoy this bit of history in such a special year. Much love." Nicola says, "I saw Fabrizio say Lobotka sign new contract till 2027. What is your thought on that?" I mean, I'm super, super, super duper happy. By the way, guys, speaking of Fabrizio Romano, did you guys see that I had a little bit of a episode with Fabrizio Romano on 433, on goddamn 433? Your boy, that's me going on there representing you guys on 433. Guys, can you imagine that? And I didn't, by the way, they came to us. We didn't go to them. They were like, "Yo, your boys in the chat say you're really cool," which is you guys, and do you want to be part of the podcast? And I was like, "Yeah, of course, man." And they interviewed me, Decibel Bellini, Fabrizio Romano. It was awesome. But you guys are still not smashing the like button as much as I want you guys. Anyways, I'm just joking, guys. Well, I'm not. You guys need to start smashing that like button. I'm kidding. Anyways, we get to the second half. And the great thing about Napoli in the second half was, all right, so we scored this goal with Osimhen in the 42nd minute. Kill all hopes for Frankfurt. And you just assume that a normal team would say, okay, we're 3-0 up. We've just destroyed Frankfurt's chances. Let's just, relax. Maybe not take the foot off the pedal completely, but let's just relax a little bit, especially if I'm the type of player who's nursing an injury. But obviously, Napoli players are not normal, and Kim is not normal. Kim, who could only play 65 minutes today because he is nursing an injury and had to come off against Atalanta, made this run, made this interception in the second half, chose the timing super well to intercept this pass, and goes all the way, plays a 1-2 with I can't remember if it was Zielinski or Lobotka, but goes all the way into the box and almost beats Kevin Trapp. The ball goes just wide. But, I mean, for a player to do this when we didn't even know if he was going to start today, incredible mentality. And, I think he couldn't wait to do this because we heard Spalletti over the weekend say that Kim is the best center back in the world, and one of his greatest qualities is that he can travel the field in the matter of 2 or 3 seconds, and that's what he wanted to show Spalletti, that yeah, you were right, I can do this even if I'm half injured. So that was obviously super great to see. TT says, thought our one-touch passing today wasn't as crisp as we're used to. Even Lobotka was misplacing passes, which is blasphemous. Spalletti will probably work on that. I honestly think you're right, and the player ratings, as I said earlier, are not super high in all aspects of the field. I honestly think these guys were not even trying. I honestly think we're like in third gear. We weren't even, we were like, whatever. We're winning 5-0 on aggregate. We'll do some moments of magic, of pure effort like we did here. We'll raise up the tempo whenever we feel like it. But they definitely weren't trying super hard. And as a result, some passes maybe were not amazing. Anyways, we get to the goal that we score. So, actually, it starts here. So maybe there's a little mistake in the order of things. But Kvara passes the ball to Politano on the other side. So Kvara centralizes himself, passes the ball over to Politano. But I've circled Di Lorenzo's position here, playing as a striker, our right back. Look at that position. Do you see that anywhere else in Europe? That a right back is so far high up the field? I don't think we do. And if you guys listen to the 433 podcast that I did, and also my past live streams, we talk about how Di Lorenzo is kind of this free guy in the Napoli team, where he just goes and attacks whatever space needs to be attacked. And at this moment in time, that was a space that needed to be attacked, because we know that the ball goes to Politano. And if Politano's going to put in a cross in the box, then it's better to have two people in the box, because otherwise everybody would gang up on Osimhen. And it didn't quite work out that, the ball went in as a cross, but actually it was a pass to Di Lorenzo, which would only be possible if Di Lorenzo was already in that position. Anyways, a pass to Di Lorenzo in behind the defense, and then Di Lorenzo first time to Osimhen to put the ball home. And Osimhen even hurts himself in the process. So I couldn't tell if he hurt himself or his hand got stepped on. I think it got stepped on. Either way, I think it's minor, and he should be fine. Then, a few moments later, again, without putting even too much pressure, playing on third gear, Napoli get a penalty. This image here, with with the Frankfurt players all going around Zielinski, and Zielinski just dancing his way past them. We're so smooth nowadays with our technique, our dribbling, everything. It's amazing. Zielinski converts it, and that's it. 3-0. After that, it's game over with 30 minutes to go. Now, a lot of you guys will be asking and have asked about the penalty, right? Because Napoli was 2-0 up. Osimhen scored 2 goals. He could have had a hat-trick. But from what I know, based on what's been told to me, is that actually Osimhen was super okay with Zielinski taking this penalty. And that's the thing about being a team, right? Is that Osimhen, it doesn't even cross his mind that he needs to score a hat trick in this game. Like, he doesn't care. What he cares about is the team morale, and the team morale is objectively higher if you've got more people on the score sheet. So that's what he's worried about, and we see it when other people score. Osimhen is the first guy to go and celebrate with them, because it's his Napoli. That's the thing that people are not understanding. This is Osimhen's team. He feels like it's his team. And when Napoli score, it's his goal as well. It's very different from maybe, I don't know, from maybe if you guys think back to Higuain, right? Higuain was doing it for himself. Yes, of course, he liked to play for us when he was here, and yeah, he was happy if other people scored, but he was doing it for himself. I honestly, truly think that Osimhen is doing everything he does for Napoli, for the badge here, and not for the name on the back of the shirt. And when people are scoring, even if it's other people, even if it's a goal that could have gone to him, he's just as happy as if he scored. Because at the end of the day, he just wants everybody to be happy. More people are happy, the better they play, the more chances he will also get because of that. TT says Spalletti and Gaetano can take the... Spalletti said Gaetano can take the Lobotka role. Hope he gets game time to develop there. I mean, obviously Spalletti says that, but at the same time, Lobotka has renewed for another 4 years with an option for a 5th year that Napoli can exercise. So who knows how much playing time Gaetano will actually get, right? I think a lot depends on if Zielinski renews, if we buy Ndombele from Tottenham. I don't think we will. I don't think the 30 million price tag is justified based on his performances. Old Heart Rossonero, probably a Milan fan, but you're also welcome here, says, do you think Osimhen will do this good in any other team? Yes, because he is a force of nature. Like, we to some extent play for Osimhen, but honestly, like, Osimhen creates a lot of the chances for himself, and the things that he's really good at doesn't really need a particular playing system necessarily. Like, you just put the ball in the box and he'll be there. He'll score. Obviously, if you put him in a team that doesn't create as many chances and is not as dominant as Napoli, he might not score as many. But if you put him in a team like Man City or something, he would have just as many goals as he has with us now, if not maybe more. Antonio Tonti says, from the Sweet 16 to the Elite 8, as we say in the States, Forza Napoli sempre. Exactly, guys. We are in the top 8. Plasticola says, Osimhen waited for you to watch his goal. Yeah, exactly, because we talked about how I had to get the delivery guy. Matteo Casale says, si ragazzi. Anyways, let's go to now the player ratings, because actually, before we do that, because we're talking about the analysis, let's just go to the stats of the game for 2 seconds and see what we did. Again, apologies, this is in Spanish, but that's where I am at the moment. We had 60% possession, 87% pass accuracy, and 4 corners against 3. Completely dominated Eintracht, who had 8 shots but only 1 on target. Look at that difference there. We had 12 shots and 8 on target. They had 8 shots and 1 on target. It just shows that when we decide to take a shot, we take it because we're in a good position. It means that we're entering the right positions. We're not just taking random shots from random angles or from outside the box, which never end up on target. Or, like, if we take a shot, it's because we've managed to work the ball very close to the goal at a good angle. That's what that tells me, compared to maybe Eintracht, who were taking shots, but they were not quite ready maybe to take a shot. It wasn't exactly a good angle. That's how I interpret that stat. Definitely from how I've seen it in the game. We have a very, very good ratio there. Shows how dominant we were. And these are my player ratings for this Champions League game. Now, let me start with the bench, all right? Because they all get a 6.5. They all came on pretty much when the game was over. The tie was over, so not as competitive. There wasn't really a need to go and do too much, but they all came on. They did their bit. 6.5. Mario Rui, 6.5 as well. I love that he came back. Him and Rahmani maybe didn't have too much to do today, and yeah, nothing too crazy. Kim, I really liked, even though he only played for an hour. I really liked when he did that thing in the second half. Very, very comforting to see that he actually had an hour in him today. Meret, I think, did well to come out and collect all the crosses that came his way, even though there wasn't necessarily like a crazy save that he had to make, but he had to be ready. And the Meret of, last year maybe would not have been ready to collect all those crosses and really dominate his 6-yard box. Di Lorenzo, I think, played well. Good assist for Osimhen. Definitely one of his better games in recent weeks. Well, I mean, he had a really good game when he scored the winner against. I can't even remember. But, I think in the last 2 games, maybe he was so-so, and now he's back to his level. And as some of you guys pointed out, Lobotka today, yes, he played a good game. He still gets a 7, obviously, but a few misplaced passes here and there, and that's simply because I don't think he was trying too hard. Maybe a little bit distracted by his contract being signed, but still solid. Anguissa started, maybe with not the best decision making, and then grew and grew and grew throughout the game, recovered a lot. Zielinski today was super good. Super good. Created chances and played defensively very, very well. And then got us a penalty and then got us a goal from that penalty. I was even debating putting an 8.5 for Zielinski, but I wanted to save that for our man Victor Osimhen, who gets an 8.5 for the 2 goals. Not super involved in the play aside from those 2 goals, so but he had 2 chances pretty much, and he scored twice, made some good runs. Really, really good game. I would say maybe one of his better games in the Champions League. Politano looked really good. I was also debating pushing Politano up to an 8. Got the first assist, ran his socks off, really adds a lot of new things to his game in recent weeks. And Kvara gets a 7 because, look, Kvara, don't get me wrong, 7 is a good score still. He played good in terms of his dribbling. He helped set up the second goal. He played good. All I'm saying is that maybe compared to the standards that he's of the season, it's more aligned to his average. Like it's never going to be a game that he's going to talk to his grandchildren about. Unlike, for example, Victor Osimhen, who can say, I scored 2 goals in a Champions League round of 16. So that's why it's a 7. But again, 7 is not bad. It still means you had a good game. He could have done a little bit better on his decision making, his shooting, because I think he could have had a goal if he really tried today. And Spalletti, for me, gets an 8 because honestly, how can you give him anything less with what he's done with this Napoli team? And in particular, he gets an 8 because I think today was super hard to be this concentrated. Because think about it, guys. You are 2-0 up, playing at home, so there's already a sense of, okay, we're done here. And then all those things happen during the pre-match with the fans going up again. And I think it would have been super difficult for the players to stay and keep concentrated. And we had a lot to lose today. And Napoli instead, they went on the field and they played super concentrated, super, as a unit still. Frankfurt really pressed us in the first half and we stayed calm. We didn't do too many mistakes. And also, we didn't respond aggressively to any of the fouls that Eintracht Frankfurt did. And we didn't try to get, so-called revenge on the Frankfurt Ultras by being aggressive ourselves on the field or doing anything stupid. We just stayed very, very professional and calm. And, that's also thanks to Spalletti. Now, let me see what you guys are saying in the chat about this, because I know you guys have comments about it. H says, Napoli and Arsenal are the strongest teams in the world right now. I would love to see them playing against each other. I think maybe that could happen in, who knows, maybe a European Super Cup with Arsenal winning the Europa League and Napoli doing well in the Champions League. Otherwise, there's always the Audi Cup that we play in the summer at times. I don't think we've participated in that in a few years, but a few years ago we played an Audi Cup preseason friendly tournament. It was us, Arsenal, and Bayern Munich. So, there's always preseason that could happen. Said Fabio, it's irrelevant. Said Fabio 22 says Lobotka deserved more than Anguissa. Maybe. maybe. I think maybe he deserved a 7.5, but I'm not sure if more than Anguissa. I just think that from his normal standard, it wasn't anything too special, and I also don't think he needed to do anything too special against this Frankfurt team. Would love to see Cholito getting more playtime, says H. I agree, he deserves playtime, but what can you do when you've got Osimhen up there? Mean says the recovery from Lobo on the 1-0 was so beautiful. Okay, you're right. I forgot. Now that you guys are giving me a specific example, you are right. And I'm sorry for the comment before that I was like, I don't really know. You're right. I forgot about that one. So let me add a 0.5 to Lobotka, okay? I'm doing this live. I've done this only a few times in the history of Napoli Talk, where I go and I add, I fix the score. So let me add a little 0.5 there. All right, there we go. 7.5. Okay, that 0.5 is too big. Okay. 7.5. And I'm sorry it's a different font, but I'm using one software to do the images, Photoshop, and then this software, OBS, is completely different, and I can add some text here and there, but it's never going to be the same as the first photoshopped picture. But you get my point. All right, 7.5. We agree. We move. Smash that like button, because this is the beauty of having the live chat. I can get this sort of feedback from you, and you guys made me remember something I totally forgot that happened. What happened to Raspadori? Obviously, he's injured but slowly coming back, says Jacksu. I don't know what happened to Østigård. I haven't seen him since the last match he played anywhere. Yeah, he played against Liverpool. I think must have been his last match or something like that. Then he had a decent-ish preseason, and that's it. Then he never appeared again. But at the same time, we've had Rahmani that was fully fit in the second half of the season. Kim, how can you replace Kim? And so that's the way it is. And yeah, I don't know. I would love to see him more because, for example, today, right, you have to substitute Kim and you bring on Juan Jesus. For me, I'm not sure if that's necessarily the best decision to make, because I see Østigård as our future center back. Maybe not in the near future, but he's young. There's a reason why we got him. I don't think we got him to be fourth choice. I think we got him to be third choice and then eventually moving up to the starting 11. But I mean, whatever, right, guys? I mean, if these are our problems, whether Østigård is playing or not, then I think we're totally fine. Eric Lamela says Dom finally listens to his dad. Yeah, because my dad was saying how I was too nice with my player ratings, and he's like, dude, you're giving out 8s, 9s, all these things everywhere. Then what would you have done if you were doing this YouTube thing when Maradona was playing? He would have to get 100. And maybe he has a point. And my scores tend to be a little higher than what the Italian press normally gives. At the same time, it is what it is. Napoli Nation TV, history has been made, but book isn't finished. Oh, I love that. I love that phrase, because there's still so many chapters to write. At least 2 more with the next 2 games. And guys, Napoli Nation TV, they were at the game today. It's Daniel and his son. I mean, I know Daniel from Twitter was at the game, so I'm hoping you're gonna make a video soon about that experience. So guys, check him out, because he has these great insights on how it is to actually go to the games, which is very different from obviously what I can do living abroad. But I'm hoping to go see a few of their games in the next few weeks, especially if there's a nice away trip in the Champions League. Actually, if we go and face Benfica or Chelsea, maybe I can find some friends, or Milan or Inter. Actually, actually, with 5 of the 7 options that we have, I think I could sneak my way onto someone's couch and go watch them. So let's see. Let's see if that happens. And Stream Elements is reminding you guys to smash the like button. Thank you, Stream Elements, my robot friend helper thingy, whatever. Weird that I called a software a friend. Yeah, that was weird. Costa Baldi says, Buonasera, I like your ratings. Napoli is not recognized in Italy the way it should. True. You know, Costa, yesterday, La Gazzetta dello Sport was saying Inter advances to the quarterfinals. Great show great achievement from Inter. Wow, Inzaghi. Wow, Dumfries. And I'm thinking, guys, Inter played a horrible game, and they had to rely on super lucky moments to get past Porto. So I do think that there's a lot of overhype on Inter and Milan, and maybe Napoli doesn't get enough respect. Anyways, let's go to the next games that we have. We have Torino up next, then a little bit of a break where the Italian national team plays in Naples. So actually, let me start a new poll. So let me finish this poll here about whether you want to play Benfica, Chelsea, or whatever. Okay, we've got the results there on the chat. Let me ask you guys if you guys want me to review the Italy games as well. So should I review Italy games? So let me start that poll. Let's see. And then you guys just say yes or no. And if you say yes, then I'll try to do it. If you guys say no, then I might still try to do it, because this is a bit of a dictatorship here where, it's my channel. I'm kidding. So yeah, let me know. A lot of you are saying yes so far. Okay, cool. So then, yeah, we've got Italy. Then we've got, let me get rid of that table there. We've got Italy, then Napoli, Milan, then Lecce, Napoli, and then the first quarterfinal of the Champions League. It's going to be played between April 11 and 12th. We don't yet know if we're away from home, out of home, someone else's home, under the bridge. Like, we don't know where we're going to play the first leg. We don't know against who. But we will know on Friday around lunchtime in Europe. I happen not to have any classes on that day, so I might be able, because I have a lot of stuff to do, I might be able to do a live stream of the draw. All right, so we'll have a chat during the draw. We'll see who's going to play who. We'll comment on it. It's just stuff that, could be fun to do for half an hour, 1 hour. And then we have Napoli, Hellas Verona. And and then we get closer and closer to the final few important games of the season. And I think after this Verona game, we will have a very clear picture of when Napoli could potentially start saying that, at this weekend, then we'll win the title. I think by then we will know a bit more clearly. So yeah, a lot of you guys do want me to review Italy games, which is good. Politano had a good assist. What do you mean, bro? Says H. Because TT says Politano actually was better than Kvara today, mate. Yeah, I mean, that's what... because the question asked Politano higher than Kvara. Yes. Yeah, Politano today was better than Kvara because Politano... Look, he assisted Osimhen for the first goal. For the second goal, he did the pass to Di Lorenzo. He had the pre-assist. And just, I don't know, I just liked his work rate, everything. I don't know. I think he was better also because Kvara, I don't think, always made the right decisions today. Is Politano a better football player? Absolutely not. That has nothing to do with that. So, yeah. Polder, man, your name always gets me. Puerto Rican says Italy Champions League matches or Serie A. No, I'm talking about Italy national team matches. You know, should I review those or should I go completely quiet when there's national football? TT says not today, mate, not today. Nicholas about some other thing says Politano was probing the entire game and was also better defensively. If there's any game Politano was better, it's this game. Okay, thank you. I didn't go crazy. Man, the question keeps insisting that Kvara was better than Politano. Okay, you can have your opinion about it. I mean, they were both more or less on the same level. I just put a half point more on Politano. It also, look, the point system is also based on your average. On like a 6 out of 10 is you played at your average level. I obviously can't compare Politano's average to Kvara's average. So it just depends on how much lower or higher you were compared to what nature gave you. I can't expect you to play to somebody else's average or to some abstract average performance. You know, it's all down to how you play to your average. But then you could say, okay, Lobotka's average is also super high. So if you give him a 7, that means he's even better than last time. But I mean, you guys get what I mean, right? Like to your average performance. Sophie says Bedford FC or Napoli. Hi, Sophie. Hi, Adam and Sophie. Bedford, yeah. 10th division of UK football. Definitely. Oh, man. Memories of Bedford all flashing back now. Costa Baldi says, where are you abroad? If I may ask, just curious. I've also left Italy years ago. Yeah, I'm in Barcelona, but I was in Bedford before. They're pretty much the same thing. They both start with a B. Yeah, I think that's all they have in common, but it's a lot. Vano Tavadze says, come on, Napoli has hit it in the bag already. Given the poor performances of the competitors, no way they could lose the title. Yeah, obviously they will never lose the title, but I'm just saying that after this Verona game, we'll know when we can start celebrating the title a little bit more. Let's go now and see what Spalletti has had to say. Let's see. Let's pull up the press conference for Spalletti. All right. So let me go to this picture here, where press conference time. So I'm gonna be reading from my phone, guys. Quanto vale questa qualificazione? I don't know why I read that in Italian when my whole job is to translate it for you guys from Italian to English. But it's very late here and my brain is not quite working as well as it normally should. So let me repeat that, but in English. How much is this qualification worth to you? And he says, for us, it's super important. We're making history here with Napoli. We've never been this far in the competition. It's not an easy achievement. No one ever did this, even though we had a lot of great players here. And we can be very satisfied about this. About the defensive qualities of this team, he says, this is a very mature team. It's able to change the way that we play based on the opposition, based on the time of the game that it is, if it's the start of the game, the end of the game, we just know how to read the situation. Frankfurt changed their strategy compared to the first leg, and we never had any problems with adapting to a new strategy. There's 3 Italian teams in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Is the Italian football recovering? Is it maybe not as bad as we thought? They ask Spalletti. And he says, look, my opinion is very clear. Someone will say, there's a post here, an own goal there, this and that. But, football, at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is what's in front of us in terms of evidence. And the evidence says there's 3 out of 8 teams there. There's also, by the way, for the 8 coaches that are Italian. So if anything, what do you call it? Our coaches are doing well. Costa Baldi obviously says I'm fine with that, of me just saying everything in Italian, because he's following. He's probably from Italy. Probably, of course, he is. I should maybe open up. I should maybe open up an Italian channel, and I say this because hey, maybe these people are listening. I've seen a lot of my content being re-proposed in some Italian media, let's say, obviously without my consent, obviously without asking me, obviously without even mentioning where some of these analysis photos are coming from, and they're getting a lot of attention with this. So I just wonder if they thought through that, hey, I can do their job as well just by speaking Italian, it's not a very sustainable business model that they have there if I can just copy it within a matter of whenever I want. So but thankfully for them, I'm too busy to do that. Anyways, let's move on. Just wanted to get that out there in case you're watching. I know what you're doing. Let me go forward with Spalletti's interview. Let's not get sidetracked here like we always do. So the journalist asks, and it says, look, you were eliminated by Eintracht in the past. Now, did you expect Napoli to go this far in the Champions League? Do you think that you guys are going to be able to win this in the future, to win this competition? And he says, look, it was very difficult to imagine this. It was very difficult to imagine the plus 18 in the Serie A table. And also for you guys, it was super difficult. And to also accept it, also because of how, it normally is in Italy. But we've done a lot of nice things. It's really an amazing achievement what we've done. The team has these sort of numbers, and we need to give them all the compliments, and we need to stay just very, very calm and keep doing the job as we've always done. We love compliments, especially the ones that are coming from great coaches such as Guardiola, that said that Napoli is the best team in Europe right now. A lot of it is true, and a lot of it is they're trying to put pressure on us. But because if a team that costs 9 and a team that, because he's basically saying we cost 9 and Man City costs 900. I don't know why he just said 9 and 900 and not 10 and 100, but that's Spalletti for you. He's always doing weird things with his press conferences, which does not make my life any easier. And he says, anyways, if your team costs that much and my team costs this much, and you're saying these things about me, is because you want to put pressure on us and take away pressure from you guys. But in Naples, we're all very smart. We know how things work, and we just stay focused on our own thing. Osimhen has, and they ask him about Osimhen, and he says, look, he has so much potential that has not even been expressed yet. It's obviously very nice to see what he's been doing lately. He cleans up a lot of situations, which is basically like, a lot of the times, what Spalletti means by this is a lot of the times we just give Osimhen a long ball to chase, or a really, like a high pass, and it's not easy to bring that ball down to the ground fast and let Napoli build from that, Osimhen has been so good this season on within 1 or 2 touches, getting the ball on the ground and allowing us to play from there. Whereas maybe a few years ago, he would receive a ball and his first touch would take it somewhere completely wild, and it would take him 10 touches to control it. Whereas now it's just so much smoother and cleaner, and that's what Spalletti means when he says that he cleans the ball better this time. He creates a lot of chances for us to attack well. He's explosive, and we just got to keep utilizing him. And then they ask him obviously about the scenes that happened in the city earlier, and he says, look, throughout the past few days, we were asking ourselves whether these Frankfurt fans were going to come or not come, but we never talked about being united against violence, which is what we should have been talking about. It's not just the Frankfurt fans that want to create a lot of chaos, but there was clearly two groups of people that wanted to meet and create chaos. We can't be doing this with football, and we need to, however, focus on other things, because it's a very historic day for us right now, and there's better things to talk about than that. But he's got a point. We've been saying all week how these Frankfurt fans, should they come or not come, blah 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 blah, and maybe we should do more to just make sure that we don't have these problems in the first place. Why are ultras wanting to meet up and fight each other? Why can't we do anything about that as a club, as a society, why is that even a possibility, really? Maybe if UEFA gives stricter punishments to fans, to clubs, if the government is stricter with these people, then maybe we don't even have this problem anymore in the future about wanting to avoid these situations, because it was really bad what we saw today. Costa says, did you notice Victor was having a kind of a sad expression tonight? I think it was quite sad for everybody, to be honest, man. I was pretty sad today, because you want to be seeing, or in Victor's case, you want to be playing football. You want the attention to be about that. And I mean, you've got this group of players that is doing something historic, scoring goals, getting to the quarterfinals of the Champions League, and yet he knows that people will be talking about something else in the press. He knows they'll be talking about what happened in the city, and he's obviously very upset because, as I said, Victor, especially, I think more than other players, I think he's really in love with the city, and it just upset him to see it being trashed like that by the Frankfurt fans. Goon Wrong says, I would never get my hopes too high for the title, though realistically the way we're playing, we should take it easily. Champions League is where my mind is sitting. Yeah, I mean, the title, I think we can almost say with certainty that we have it. But the Champions League, man, that's kind of crazy. If we win the Champions League, like winning the title is also crazy, but it's been a few months now that we expected it. But winning the Champions League would be wild. I would say we have a 20% chance of winning it. I'll leave 10% to... No. How about this? I say us 20%. Then I'll leave a 5% chance distributed between Inter Milan and Benfica. So that brings us to 25. And the remaining 75% is going to be split evenly between Real Madrid, Bayern, and Man City. So those three have 25, we have 20, and the last three teams have... Is that everyone? I'm missing someone. And Chelsea, right? So Benfica, Chelsea, Milan, and Inter, between them, they have 5% that they have to split. So 1%, 1.25% each. So that's how I see it, to be honest. Yep. Anyways, now that we've talked about everything, I will say, hope you guys enjoyed the game. Hope you guys have smashed that like button and the subscribe button if you haven't. I hope you guys, by the way, have been following official Napoli Talk on Instagram. And, where's my finger? I lost my finger. And at Napoli Talk on Twitter to stay updated with, I don't know, man, memes, opinions, whatever. I hope you guys enjoy your week. We will talk about Napoli's next Champions League opponent on Friday, or whether that is after the draw in the evening or during the draw, but we will talk about it. Anyways, guys, buenas noches, and as always, Forza Napoli sempre. Ciao.